Well, good evening, everybody, and a very warm welcome to the Sanctum Hotel, the hub of rock and roll in London. And I'm so delighted to have been asked to host this metal soiree to celebrate the release of Mr. Mario Vayne's debut single, which we'll be hearing very shortly. And Mario, welcome to London. How does it feel to be here at the Sanctum launching your first single?
Amazing. Actually, it feels amazing to be warm at the moment.
Yeah, because you've come from what? It's really like hot temperature.
It's taken me like 3 days to thaw out. Where I'm from, there's only 2 seasons. You guys get 4 seasons, right?
Yep.
Yeah, hot and fucking hot. That's the only 2 seasons in Queensland. And it's amazing, actually. It's amazing sitting here with you because as I said before, I watched you interview most of the people that influenced me throughout the years, and it's been part of my journey as well. So it's amazing to be here.
Well, welcome. And as I said, we're celebrating the release of your debut single, Rock and Roll Day. You've come such a long way, both geographically, because you've come from Australia, but also a long way in time as well. You became interested in music at the tender age of 7. And I was wondering, can you remember what first attracted you to music at such a young age?
Well, I didn't want to do it, really. My father was an opera singer. This is, hang on, you hear that? All good? Yeah, father was an opera singer and mum was a classical pianist, so we really had no choice. My brother was a drummer, and my younger brother, which made things a little bit easier. But what drew me into music was my auntie's record collection. I used to spend a lot of time with my grandparents, and my aunties were like, they were the Italian equivalent of Rapunzel, really. They had really long black hair and shiny hair, and I always wondered how their hair got so shiny. And it's because they used to crack eggs on their hair once a week. So I figured it out. I was only a little dude, but I figured it out. It kind of took about 20, 25 minutes for the process. And I had an opportunity to go in and listen to all her albums, which I was never allowed to be anywhere near at the time because they thought I was going to wreck them. And so I waited for the first crack of the egg. And I used to run in there, and the first album that I put on was a Status Quo album. And the first song I ever heard was Rockin' All Over the World. And that drew me into wondering how they got that heavy kind of cool sound, you know. Because I had this acoustic guitar and I was like intrigued, and then I started listening to all their albums, and they were like all 70s Australian bands like Sherbet, Skyhooks, Little River Band. The Sweet was a big one, and the Babies were predominantly, and of course AC/DC with Bon Scott. I think that was a big one for me.
So your debut single, as we said, Rock and Roll Day, it's like most of your tunes, it's very upbeat, it's very optimistic, it's very anthemic, it's so positive. And what I really took away from this song is that having a rock and roll day is really an attitude. It's about going out and living life to its full, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And following your heart, really, and just doing what you want to do. And it doesn't matter if it's swimming against the current, you know. And it's not a matter of what everybody else is doing. It's a matter of what you want to do. And to bring fun back into rock and roll too. Yeah. I think thanks for my 9-year-old daughter because she came up with the name. She was just mumbling words in the car one day, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do, and she's like, Rock and Roll Day. And I looked at her and went, what? It's a rock and roll day, Daddy. It's like Daddy's Day. And I thought, you little genius. So, yeah, she's not old enough for royalties, so I pay her with Robux. Probably would have been cheaper with royalties, I reckon. These Robux cost me a lot of money, man. Yeah, she's right into this Roblox thing, you know. But she's quirky, and she come up with the name, and that's how this song got created. It was a bit of a. It actually wasn't going to be on the album. I only wrote this song about 5 months ago, and it was just one I showed my producer, and he says that's got to go down today, you know.
Well, it's much needed. It really is in this day and age to have this real feel-good music to come back. So we're going to see the video now for Rock and Roll Day.
Do you feel it? Do you want it? Got your taste of it? I can feel it. Can you feel it? It's a rock and roll day. This heart's on fire. I can feel that rush of burning love. Just one desire. Louder and guess just wanna turn it up. Can you feel it? Feel it? Do you want it? Got you tasting it? So get ready. It's coming your way. I can feel it. Can you feel it? It's a rock and roll day. It's a beautiful thing. It's a rock and roll day. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. That's right. Do you feel it? Feel it? Do you want it? Want it? 'Cause I'm tasting it. Got you tasting it. Coming your way. I can feel it. Can you feel it? I can feel it. Can you feel it?
Man, that brings back memories now. Man, we travelled. I don't like planes, and they said, you
You
know, let's
like
travel in the middle of
planes.
nowhere, man. We need to go in the middle of the outback to do some of that stuff. And I said, no, little planes, not little planes. They're like little boats in the ocean, you know. It's not cool. Like, so they said, okay, we'll drive. 15 hours. 15 hours, man. And some of those places there that we went to were so rednecky, man. It was so funny. There was one that was cordoned, you know, the one that was cordoned on and says, do not enter. That was a coffee shop in the middle of nowhere. And there was a shallow grave like there. And it's like, what happened there, right? We walked in and we says, oh, we'll grab 2 coffees. Not one word was spoken. Like they just stared at us the whole time and made these coffees. We're like, thanks, man. It's just fucking hell.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I just looking at that. So I don't usually look at the videos much. It's like when you write a song and you record it. Once it's recorded and finished and stuff, you kind of like, I don't know, sometimes it's almost cringe when you listen it back and you go, should have done this there. Or, yeah, I don't like the way I sung that.
Well, it sounded absolutely amazing. And as I said, I think we'll all agree that it's got the most incredible, memorable hook. And in fact, all of your songs are like that. In fact, if you listen to the album, it just feels like a load of singles. And I think that leads nicely to my next question, because the actual album was created over quite a long time scale, wasn't it? So the songs some of the songs go back quite a few years, don't they?
Yeah, I had this collection of cassettes, actually. They still had the blue tack and I always kept them. And I used to go back, and some of these riffs that are on this album and some of these ideas I used to jam with my brother when I was like 14, 18, 20. So it's been a journey. And I think it was that time where I hit the brick wall. We're kind of stuck between the grunge days and rock and roll in the early 2000s, and I didn't feel like it was a place for me. I think, so yeah, it has been a journey, because then I took another break, because as I said before, it's like better to be nowhere than to be somewhere that you're not supposed to be. So
over the years, you'd collected so many songs, so many riffs.
Yeah.
And you had a wide choice to choose from to put together on the album, didn't you?
I did, yeah. And it's not until I ride my motorcycle that I get these ideas. It's really weird. Like, I would not write songs until I hop on my motorcycle and start riding into the mountains, and I can hear, like, it's just so random, I can hear the whole song in my head. And it's riffs I remember, you know, ideas that I remember, and this I can hear the whole song in my head, and I have to try and figure out how to put it together. Mm-hmm. So I go home and try and find the tape, because I've got this whole group of tapes that dates back a long time. I mean, I lost everything, but I didn't lose those tapes. I kept those tapes. So,
as well?
Yeah, I know, yeah, because Rock and Roll Day, that riff, it dates back to, you know, like, again, when I was like 20. So
I think those kind of riffs, they're timeless. They don't date.
No, they don't. No. So. Yeah, well, as I found lately, you know, like kids, they hear it, they just want to rock.
Yep.
You know, that's what kids want.
Yep.
There's a lot of young rock and roll bands, man, they want to rock, you know. And, you know, there's a brick wall there, they can't get through it. And if I can inspire them to smash the shit out of that wall and do what they want to do regardless, you know, and that's my job's done, really.
Excellent. Well, we're going to go to another track from the album now. Do you want to say a few words to introduce Diary of a Heart?
Yeah, Diary of a Heart's an interesting one. That was probably when I was at my lowest point. I'd left the industry to, believe it or not, I just wanted to see what it was like on the other side of the fence, really, because I'd been playing music all my life, and I've been watching these perfect families and these kids and everybody's like, and they had lots of things, and we never had much because we're touring and just earning pretty or much nothing, and thinking that, you know, geez, you hop on a bus and you miss the next bus and you don't know if you're in the right bus and you don't know what. So I actually just missed the bus and decided to...
Oh, you got off the bus.
I got off the bus, yeah, I did. And I went to coach a junior soccer team, football team, as you would say here. And there was this little girl that came up to me. She was a tiny little thing, and I thought, man, I want one of them, you know. I want a family. And that's what I did. It catapulted me into this world. And then my kids inspired me to get back into music. And then everything just turned to shit. And I figured that, it was a marriage breakdown. My mum died at the same time. I was at my lowest point, really, and you sort of find yourself a lot easier when you've hit rock bottom. So you either sink or you swim, you know. So I decided to swim, and this is a song about that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Let's hear it now. Diary of a Heart. So that was Diary of a Heart. And Mario, I'm curious to know, your sound is very layered. It's lots of sonic little twists on it. Is that quite hard to replicate in the live environment? And when you're writing the songs, do you think how you're going to present them live? Does that play a part?
Yeah, in the writing process, I do. Always, and when I write the song, I can almost envisage it live. I think the trick is to find a producer that doesn't overdo it. You know, like I've worked in the past with a lot of people that have turned into almost like Dr. Frankenstein. You know, they take your song and they change it all around, and when you get it back, it's like, that's not the song, you know, and there's a lot going on. I didn't want too much going on. And even though it sounds like there's a fair bit going on, it's not. It's just raw guitar with the odd little thing behind it, which I create in my studio. And my producer, Simon Cohen, who's a Grammy-nominated producer from Sydney, he hears little things. You know, not a lot of things, but the right things. I think there's a chemistry there to not put too much, put the right stuff. So when you play it live, it's going to sound better, you know, because of course the guitar's louder. So who gives a shit about all the other stuff, right? You know, so you're just going to hear that raunchy guitar, really. Yeah. So I think the riff would stand out more live, because in every recording, you know, they sort of like water it back in a lot of stuff. When it's live, it's like the real deal, and that's what you play for.
So we're going to go into Diamond now, and just a few words to introduce this track.
Diamond is another one that I only just wrote recently, which I've learnt now not to show my producer any more new stuff, because he says, "Oh, it has to go on the album." You know, it's like, how many songs do you want on the album, mate? You know?
It's going to be a double.
Yeah, basically this. To cut a long story short, I was finishing work 2 a.m. and I seen this little kitten, and I was crossing the road, and I thought, oh man, look at that! Oh, I'm going to get that for my daughter. Man, she's going to love me forever, you know. And I opened the door to grab it, and it was this cute little thing, and all of a sudden, this thing turned like mutant, psycho, fucking, and it was jumping and sideways and shit. And then its mother come out with its like mutant brothers and sisters. And I was like, screw this, man. She's getting a guinea pig, right? I met a little girl that reminded me of that little kitten.
Feisty.
Oh, yeah. Cute, but man, probably really just born to be a rocker maybe, you know? And that's what this song's about.
Okay,
yeah.
So let's listen to Diamond.
Sometimes
really imagine driving along in my car, listening to this with the windows down, the sun shining, music on full blast. Actually, that takes me nicely to my next question because, how important are your Australian roots to you? Because you mentioned going out on your bike, you go to the beach. How important are they to your overall creativity?
The sun means a lot to me.
Yeah, I love the sun too.
Yeah, I pretty much perched myself pretty much on the beach. And then there's a river and then there's the mountains. So it's everything that I really need.
You go out and you have your coffee.
I'll hop on my Harley and I'll go up to the mountains and find a weird little coffee shop somewhere and get inspired. Yeah, no, it's really important, the sun, for me. That's probably why they call it the Sunshine Coast, because it's always freaking hot, So, yeah, I felt like a penguin when I come here,
But you have to have the right clothes in this weather. There's no such thing as bad weather, only inappropriate clothing.
I thought I was prepared. I looked out the window of the plane. I thought, no, it's pretty cool. And then when I got to the airport and it was raining and I asked the lady, so I need an Uber. And she says, well, it's that. You got to go over the bridge and into the car park, down 3 floors to catch an Uber. I thought, yeah, okay, cool. Then I stepped outside and I go, fucking what? Like how cold it was. My hands freaking froze, my nose froze. And I went up there and discovered I had no Wi-Fi, right? So I couldn't ring the Uber, so I thought, okay, so I got to go back and do the 100-metre dash. So I went back, called the Uber guy. Yes, your Uber in 3 minutes, and bolted all the way back up there, down into the third, and then there was 300 people at the lift, and I missed that Uber. So 5 times later, I got my Uber, and then the first thing I did is I found a shop somewhere and I bought a whole stack of clothes. And I didn't realise until I looked in the reflection that I was dressed like an Eskimo, right? I was like, I had this, I looked ridiculous, man. I had a beanie, big long jacket, T-shirt, shirt, jumper, and I still was freezing ass cold.
Well, we're going to go into your next video now. Electric.
Oh, yeah.
Just a few words to introduce this.
This is a song that I wanted to bring positivity to the world, man, to bring the world together. Because I don't watch the news, because it's just negative shit, So I always just turn it to the back page where the sport is usually. And every time I watch the news, it's always like bad news. Just everybody's subjected to bad shit. But there's a lot of good things happening in the world, that people are blind to see. And this is more about the next generation. When you got kids, you look at them and you think, geez, what world are they going to be living in? What are we doing to it? And that's what this song's about. It's it's about the positive change that we can make if we all kind of just get along.
Very, very important message and very timely.
It is, yeah, it is.
So let's see the video.
Open your heart and you will see this world is alive. We are stronger when we all
guys wouldn't believe how pissed I was. Like that. That was like 15 takes. And they didn't realise I was sculling these honey whiskies because they're easy to scull. And I was sculling, like after the 15th one, I tripped over. And Jess says, dude, you got to stop it. And so when I actually got up, and that was the best take because all the other ones, man, I was standing up, where's the door, right? So I was saying, come on, Maz, we got to go. And I'm going, where, go where? You know. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Yeah, good memory.
Now, Mario, you're known, and you've actually said as much yourself, that you are quite a shy person. Does that change when you pick up a guitar? Is it like your armour? Is it like a weapon?
Yeah, it's become armour since I was about 11, after I screwed up my first performance. And it was a bribe that really got me out of it. My mum told my teacher, I was really shy and I never wanted anybody to know that I was a singer or a guitar player at school. She told the teacher I played guitar. Of course, this teacher was doing this Christmas thing at the school in front of the whole school assembly. And my mum said, if you do it, I'll buy you your first electric guitar. And that was a tough decision, man. So what does an 11-year-old do? He goes down to the football oval and plays footy and doesn't give a shit about this guitar and goes up there, and the guitar was completely out of tune, right? So I'm playing and it was so out of tune, and the girls' choir was singing out of tune and everybody was playing out of tune. Even the triangle guy looked at me like, what are you doing, man? You know? Like it was so bad. But I remember my mum was standing at the back and she was bawling her eyes out. She was so proud that I did it. So that broke me out of that a little bit, you know, out of that shyness. Mm-hmm. And inspired me to write my first song actually after that.
It sounds very traumatic.
It was traumatic.
It's lucky it didn't put you off.
I got my first girlfriend after that.
Oh, okay. Well, then you saw the power of rock and roll.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I actually wrote my first song for her. It was a song called Forever. And I showed her, and I remember it was yesterday, and the lyrics were something like, I forget, it was something like, I love you, babe, but I'd rather be playing with my friends, you know. I don't think. And she said, well, I'd rather be playing with my friends. And I says, well, maybe we should just split up.
It was a very happy 48 hours.
Yeah, 48. She goes, oh, how can you, after everything we've been through. It's like, 48 hours. So, yeah, that was, I mean, the song was crap, you know.
But it's all a learning curve.
Yeah, it was, yeah. And then from then on, I heard songs in my head that I couldn't play. And I had to wait till I was like 20 to play them. And one of the songs that I actually wrote not long after that, the riff actually is coming up.
Yeah.
Soon.
So we're now going to go to another album track, Sorry Ain't Enough. think that's a fine example, Mario, of how a really good song obviously comes out of a lot of suffering and pain. Was it kind of quite cathartic for you to write that?
Yeah, it's always tough listening to that one. Actually, it wasn't going to go on the album. Yeah, I find it hard listening to that song. I found it hard singing that song. Because through all that heartache that I went with everything, it was when I was at my lowest point. Yeah, it was really, really difficult time, and took a lot of strength to get back up. And I think I needed to write that song, although I don't like hearing it. Something that I really needed to write, and everybody that heard it, thought, no, that's got to go on the album. That's got to go on the album. But yeah, it took me a long time to sing it too. It was real difficult to sing. I recorded that initial tracks in Texas, USA, and I think it was like, nah, I don't want to do this song. After about the 10th take, I thought, I'm not doing it. I can't do it. And thanks to Chuck Ebert, Grammy Award-winning producer in Texas, good friend. I'm glad he pushed me into it because it's something I needed to do. So,
well, it may help other people going through similar circumstances as well. So,
absolutely, because it's easy to say sorry, isn't it? Really, for things and when things don't pan out, but sometimes it's time. It's not sorry, it's just time heals, and yeah.
Now, the debut album is called The Moment, and it's out in 2025, so not long to go now. Why did you choose The Moment as the album title track? Because I felt that each song was kind of like a moment in its own right.
I think it was one thing that I was always going to call the album The Moment, because there's parts of every single song that were part of a moment in my journey. And this was the pivotal moment where you take the leap of faith and you do things, you do something that you want to do regardless, not for like fame, not for money, not for anything, but for yourself. And I think this is the song that really gives meaning to the whole album, really. So it had to be called The Moment. This song is probably my favourite song on the album. And it was, it was a song that I think back through my whole journey, and I think of people that are a bit scared to do something or be who they want to be, or because of people's opinions and, people's judgment. And, people don't realise that, that you wake up to a brand new day every day and you will put on this planet to screw everything up, really.
That's how you learn.
Exactly. I think this is just an inspirational type song that if you follow your heart, you never lose.
Totally 100% agree. Well, let's hear it now. The album title track, The Moment.
World is beautiful, still as the picture you
Yeah, I'm just imagining myself at a Mario Vayne concert, you know, Mario, and I'm going to be down the front dancing. It's so lovely to hear such feel-good music. Now, we're going to end on a real high now because in 2025, Mario is going to release the track Baby. And I have to say, Mario, this track, it features all of your DNA. And I know this track is important to you because it's the song that brought you back to music after you'd had your hiatus. You went away, a bit like me. You went away and then you came back, like I'm doing. And you came back in 2018, and this was the song that kind of kick-started you back into your musical dream. So just talk us through Baby.
Yeah, when I first started writing the album, this is the first song that was written. It was the only song that I didn't do a demo to. So when I went over to the US, it wasn't until I was playing the song random and the producer there, he says, "What's that?" And I says, "Oh, it's a song that I haven't put a demo to. It's called Baby." He says, "Play it." So I played it to him and he says, "Man, that's going down today. Forget the rest. That's going down today." So that's about that time where I was at the crossroads there, and I got up and I thought, no, fuck it, I'm bigger than this. There's so much more good things to do in life. And this song's all about giving love a second chance. When you think there's nothing left, And it inspired me to write this song.
Well, I'm sure everybody's going to agree that this really is an incredible track. So we're going to play the video now for Baby. I love it that it's mopeds, not motorbikes.
There's a good story to that, I'll tell you about it.
First time, baby, one touch gets me out of time. Feel this heart of mine, baby, the way you love me. Baby, the way you love me. Baby, love the way you love me. Baby, just the way you love me. Yeah, yeah, love the way you love me.
That is a killer track.
You know, that there's a funny story behind that. That was originally a dude that saw a Harley, which was in fact mine, that I rode all the way from the Sunshine Coast down to the Gold Coast, and spent like 4 days in the middle of nowhere riding in the rain, like. And then he was like, it was like he saw the Harley, but really it was a scooter, right? Mm-hmm. And then the director of film called me and he says, "We're not using the Harley." I thought, you bastard. You know, like, really? No, that's got to be in there, man. And, you know, I went through hell, you know. And he says, "Doesn't matter, mate. You look at them." So I watched it and I thought, they don't need the Harley.
I get that.
You know, he loved his scooter. This dude, like, he was just loving his scooter so much, and it's kind of like, yeah, he got the Harley tap, but it was his Harley. You don't have to have a Harley to be cool, you know. And he found the girl, you know, that was thinking the same way he did too.
Yep.
Because originally she was on a Harley. Mm-hmm. And, of course, she couldn't ride the Harley, so I was doing all these doubles, riding all these Harleys, but no Harley was in it, so... Yeah, there was good story, that one.
It was, and I think that track epitomises so much of what you're about. And for me, I can sum it up in one word, and that's joy. There's so much joy in your music. And we're reaching the end now. And I just really want to say, Mario, I've got so much respect for you as an artist because you've stayed true to yourself and you've bided your time. And you've followed your heart and you've followed your dream. And I just think it's so wonderful that you're here we're all joined here in London to celebrate the release of your first single, which is already on the Planet Rock playlist. And I know that Baby's going to go straight to the top of the Planet Rock playlist next year.
Hopefully, yeah. Yeah.
I just want to wish you every success, and I know you're very much looking forward to coming back in 2025 where you're going to do some live shows.
I am. You know, the Vayne train started off with this little, like, bashed up piece of crap, you know, and it was an idea and it was just straight from the heart. And now it was funny because Baby was the song. That's how I met my manager, Mark Adams, who's here tonight, an amazing man. I mean, what that guy hasn't done, you know, with Chief of Music at Kerrang for 17 years, Channel 4, a bit like yourself, like you're a legend in Australia. You didn't even know it.
I didn't.
No? Unbelievable, you know, that...
They must have been sending VHSs in the post.
People forget ACD. I grew up one suburb away from Bon Scott.
Wow.
It was literally one suburb, different age gap, but one suburb. And Australians love metal. They love rock. Now, they're not subjected to it now because of all the bullshit, but kids want to rock, man. Mm-hmm. You know, and now I've got Duff Press on board as well. And they're a powerhouse, man, you know, and working with people like that now, we're going to smash the shit out of that wall, you know, because kids want to rock, man. They're sick of hearing this mono shit on the radio and mono stuff, and it's like this. I think this is hopefully paves the way for more of it to happen and more young kids to start bands and going out there and destroying people's lives like we did when we started playing, you know, like our next door neighbours hated us, man, you know, like really with a passion, because we were like in a tin shed and my amp was really loud. And my parents had a lot of drama. You know, would shut up the racket, shut the racket. You know, my brother was like, he's the drummer that's actually on the clip. He sort of made it worse because he threw an egg at, and it was a direct hit at the neighbour, hit her in the head, and it's kind of made, and then so we were kind of like really hated. And I think it's time that kids become hated again like that, you know. You know, go into a music store, grab a guitar, grab drums, and just play. You know, because I think we're all dying for the next Rolling Stones, aren't we? You know, or the next Van Halen. You know, I think if I can pave the way and inspire
in your own
kids.
inimitable style. And Mario, you've gone from that tin shed to the Karma Sanctum Hotel here in London, launching
amazing.
your debut single. And I hope you have time to reflect on a little bit and just think how far you've come and what an amazing journey you've been on. And then we've got 2025 to look forward to.
I mean, this is amazing, yeah. What's happened in the last... I mean, you know yourself, I was kind of nervous at the beginning of this, you know, having this interview. So, I mean, as I said, you're a legend. Yeah, it's surreal at the moment. It's a dream come true. And that's, you know, and, you know, it doesn't matter if it explodes or it doesn't. It's just following your dream.
Yeah.
You know, and doing what you want to do.
Well,
And in the end, that's what matters, you know.
what a positive note to end on. So thank you very much, Mario, for asking me to host your event. Such a pleasure meeting you and talking to you. And I wish you all the best for next year. And I want to thank everybody here tonight for coming and joining us to celebrate the release of Mario's debut single, Rock and Roll Day. And I really hope that you go on, stick around, talk to Mario. He's got so many interesting stories to tell about his musical journey. And we'll hopefully have a typical Karma Sanctum Hotel rock and roll night. Sorry.
Thank you.